So you're staring at a wine fridge listing that looks perfect on paper, sleek stainless, 56 bottles, single zone, but you've been burned before by units that hum too loud or can't hold temperature once the door opens. I get it. The last thing you want is another box that looks great in the ad but turns into a daily headache in your kitchen. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. This isn't one of those generic "it's great" reviews. I dug into what actually matters when you live with a wine fridge every day: how steady the temperature stays when you're grabbing a bottle, whether the shelves flex enough for odd-shaped bottles, and if the compressor noise is something you'll notice during dinner prep. The Allavino 24-inch FlexCount 2 is one of the few models that actually addresses those real pain points instead of just slapping a shiny door on a noisy compressor. Let's start with the headline feature that most buyers gloss over: Tru Vino temperature control. Most single-zone fridges swing a few degrees every time you open the door, which can stress your wines over time. Allavino's compressor and airflow design keep fluctuations under half a degree, so if you set it to 54°F, it stays there even after you pull out a bottle of Pinot. That's the kind of stability you only notice when it's missing until your Syrah starts aging faster than you planned. Then there's the FlexCount shelving. You don't always have Bordeaux bottles. Sometimes you've got a few Burgundies, a couple of sparkling, and a random Magnum from last year's celebration. The FlexCount lets you slide the dividers to create wider or narrower slots without tools. It's not just about fitting more bottles, it's about fitting the right bottles without forcing you to stack them like Tetris blocks. If you're rotating through different bottle shapes, that flexibility saves you from the daily frustration of rearranging shelves. Now, the trade-off: this is a single-zone fridge, so everything inside sits at the same temperature. If you're storing both reds and whites long-term, you'll need to drink the whites a little cooler or let the reds warm up slightly when you pull them out. It's not a deal-breaker, but it's worth thinking about if you're used to dual-zone setups. If you mostly drink one type or don't mind minor adjustments, you'll be fine. Noise is another place where most reviews lie. The Allavino uses an ultra-low vibration compressor, and in a quiet kitchen it's barely noticeable. I've had cheaper units that sounded like a mini fridge in the next room. This one hums at a level that won't compete with your dishwasher or your conversation. That matters if your fridge lives in the open kitchen rather than a pantry. Energy use is where this fridge quietly saves you money. The compressor is one of the most efficient on the market, so even running 24/7 it won't spike your electric bill. Over a year, you're looking at a few dollars more than leaving a light bulb on, not the double-digit surprise that some wine fridges sneak in. Who should buy this? If you're a collector with a mix of bottle sizes, or you entertain often and need quick, reliable access without temperature swings, this fridge fits. It's also a solid choice if you're replacing an older unit that's become unreliable or noisy. The 24-inch width gives you enough capacity for a couple of months of drinking without crowding your counter. Who should skip it? If you're dead set on dual-zone control for long-term storage of both reds and whites at their ideal temps, look elsewhere. And if you're tight on space and need a slim under-counter model, this one's a bit deeper than some alternatives. The only real downside I can see is the door hinge. It swings right by default, and if your kitchen layout forces you to open it into a tight walkway, you might regret not choosing the left hinge version. Double-check your space before you order. All in all, this fridge delivers where it counts: steady temps, flexible storage, and quiet operation. It's not the flashiest name on the market, but it's one of the few that actually solves the problems buyers run into after the purchase. If that's what you need, the Allavino 24-inch FlexCount 2 is worth the investment. Check the link in the description if you want to see the latest price and details.